All right, begin by opening to page 158. This is lesson 2. What are some patterns in motion? It says some motions occur in patterns, others do not. There are many types of motion at a carnival. A merry-go-round always repeats its motion. You can predict when you'll see each horse again. A bumper car's direction and movement changes randomly with every bump. You cannot predict the next motion. So some motions you can predict and others you can't. So let's look at this video and decide if you can predict what's going to happen next or if it's unpredictable. And here's the next one. So underneath the picture on page 159, it says number 1, think about the carnival games. What motion can you predict in each game? What motion can't you predict in each game? So I want you to take time to pause this video and answer both questions. So you're going to have at least 2 sentences. And think about the types of motion that we talked about. We have back and forth, we have zigzag, we have up and down. And make some predictions. What games can you predict and what games can't you predict? All right, turn the page and it should say back and forth, up and down. So this is page 160. It says patterns, patterns everywhere. Patterns of motion happen when the same motion repeats itself. A rabbit hops up and down. A merry-go-round spins in a circle. A skier zigzags down a hill. A swing goes back and forth. Click on each video to watch it. Identify the pattern of motion as back and forth, up and down, zigzag, or around or spinning. Okay, so this first one, this is a video of a pendulum. It's moving back and forth, back and forth. So this is an example of back and forth, back and forth. What is this an example of? Yeah, notice it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So this is letter A in your book. Okay, you see the picture of the clock, you see the picture of the drum, and those are both showing what type of motion. Circle the correct answer. It's either back and forth, spinning, up and down, or zigzag. Then we'll move on to the next one, letter B. Letter B shows you a picture of 2 kids and they're using a hand mixer. Okay, notice what's happening here. What type of motion is this? Is this back and forth? Is this spinning? Is this up and down? Or is this zigzag? They also have a picture of a pinwheel. This is a windmill, so it's a little different. But what type of motion do you see both of these having? So for letter B, circle the correct answer. Is it back and forth? Is it spinning? Is it up and down? Or is it zigzag? Now letter C, you have a picture of a baby in a swing. What motion is the baby showing? Is this back and forth? Is this spinning? Is this up and down? Or is this zigzag? Another example they have for this one is the elevators. What are they doing? Is it back and forth, spinning, up and down, or zigzag? And the last example, letter D, we've got a girl running through the cones. What type of motion is this? Is this back and forth, spinning, up and down, or zigzag? The same type of motion is shown by the snake. What's the snake doing? What type of motion is that? All right, now it's time to check your work. So I'll put the correct picture in with the right motion. We have back and forth, up and down, zigzagging around or spinning, and you should make sure that you have the correct one circled on your page. So that girl was moving in a zigzag formation, same as the snake, so they're both zigzag. The baby and the elevators were moving up and down. The mixer and the windmill were spinning, which leaves the drum and the pendulum were back and forth. So pause this video and double check your work, make sure you have the correct answers. And then the last thing you're going to do is number 3. It has a chart for you and it says write or draw an example of each type of motion in the chart. So you're gonna either write an example or draw a picture of something going back and forth. Use your own example. What's something that you see outside or inside that moves back and forth? Then do the same thing with spinning. What's something you know that spins? Write an example or draw an example. The next one, up and down, and the next one, zigzag. Give an example for all 4. Remember, you can write it or you can draw it. That's it for today.